Hey everyone, how's it going? I recently got back from a trip to Japan, and as you may have seen in my last video, I visited Tsujikura, Kyoto, which is the oldest umbrella maker in Kyoto. While I was there, as you may have seen in my last video as well, I bought a washi paper pendant lamp. Tsujikura also sells Akari lamps, which have been all over the internet right now, and they look very beautiful. The price is a little too steep for me. When I got back, I came across on YouTube the channel Outside Influenced. One of his videos, he built his own paper lamp from scratch, and he actually provided his 3D print for the frame of the lamp. I've never 3D printed before, but my buddy just got a 3D printer, so I decided I would give it a go. I actually bought an umbrella from Tsujikura, and it came in this very large black paper bag, and I wasn't sure if that was gonna work for this lamp, but I shined a light in it and I thought it looked really cool, so I decided to move forward with the project. So this was my first time ever 3D printing, and for the frame I went with vertical slat supports. This would have been great. The print time was pretty low. Cutting out the structure supports would be a lot easier, but it ended up falling apart during the printing process. So I actually switched to the tree structure support, which provided the frame with a lot more stability and it printed perfectly. It did take 36 hours to print, which I don't know if that's typical for a 3D print, but that took a long time. For the legs though, it came out perfectly the first try. It was super easy. A big downside of the tree structure supports was removing them from the actual lamp frame. This took so long and it was so tedious. I don't know if I was using the wrong tools. I had little snippers and an X-Acto knife. It just took so long. I actually ended up breaking two of the joints, so I had to super glue those together. The legs, super easy to clean up. I thought the corners of them could use a little bit more support, so I decided to add a few drops of super glue. I don't know if it did anything, but it sounded right in my head. Along with 3D printing, I've never wired a light bulb before, but it ended up being super easy. I was hesitant to turn it on at first. I completely thought it was going to blow up on me, but it turned out to be fine. The scariest part of this whole project was cutting this paper bag because I had one shot. This was the only bag I brought from my trip to Japan. My idea was to use the large Tsujikura logo on each side of the lamp, and then on the side there were some additional smaller logos with details, and I did like 3 slats of paper on the sides. Now at this point I realized that I could actually use either side of the bag, so the black side or the white side. The white side looked pretty cool. When you shine the light through it, it reveals the logo, but when the light's off, it kind of just looks a little bit less aesthetic than the black one, so I decided to move forward with black. Once everything was prepped and cut and sanded down, I was ready to start gluing and placing on the panels of the frame. I decided to use Montage for the glue because that's what I had, and it ended up working really well. And I used the X-Acto knife to trim the edges of the paper. It was a little bit tricky when the glue hardened, but it ended up being fine. When I got to the last piece, the top piece of the lamp, I considered using the handle of the bag. I'll show you a picture of what it looked like placed on top of it, but I thought it was a cool idea, but I think it wouldn't have worked. Let me know what you think, if you think placing this handle on top of the lamp would have worked. I just think it kind of would have looked weird, so I just decided to do a flat top. Finally, it was time to assemble everything and put the light in. The hole for the light ended up being a little too small. I'm not sure if I bought the different model than what Outside Influenced bought. I just had to take a knife to scrape away the plastic to make it a little bit bigger, and this made the worst sound. This was the worst 5 minutes of my life. And with that, my DIY Akari lamp was complete. This was such a fun project to undertake, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Is it perfect? No, there's a lot of defects. Some of the glue is coming undone. As you can see, some little white spots around here. This isn't completely attached, but I think it looks amazing, and it's something I built, and I learned a lot throughout the process. I learned how to 3D print, I learned how to wire a light bulb, I learned how to build a lamp from scratch, and I think that was the most important point of all this. I just want to say thank you again to the channel Outside Influenced for sharing your design. And seriously, go check out his channel if you haven't. He has some really great stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.